Hello, my Taurus friends. Here is your yearly forecast for 2021. And I think it's a very important video because I think the biggest changes will be ahead of you. Basically, every single planetary alignment will be affecting you quite a lot. So I hope you will like this video. And then if you do so, please subscribe to the channel as well as like the video and share the content with others. And then if you would like to learn astrology with me, then go on my website, AstroViktor.com, and check out my upcoming courses, as well as there is a subscription plan. You will be receiving free lectures a month about various topics. So check it out. You might be interested. Let's get started because we've got plenty to unfold for you this year. So the year, firstly, let me just mention that if you have got your rising sign between 10 to 18 degrees, then actually Uranus will be shaking things up for you this year. So Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus for a while now. But of course, it's a slow-moving planet. It spent about 7 years in each sign, so it takes time to crawl up to certain degrees. And in 2022, it will be moving between 10 to 18 degrees, and it will be going actually retrograde on 18 degrees to 15 degrees. So I kind of feel like those, especially who were born between 15 to 18 degree rising sign, but they have got the sun there, they will be affected the most. But if you have got your rising sign between 10 to 15 degree, you also feel Uranus transit quite strongly. Now, as usual, we're going to be looking at the positives and the negatives, as well as I would like you to listen to your sun and moon sign as well, because the sun will be representing your vocations as well as your life purpose, and the moon something to do with your family environment, as well as something to do with your emotional well-being. So Uranus conjuncting your ascendant is basically sudden changes in your environment, whether it is a relocation, whether it is a new job or a new partner or having a baby. Expect the unexpected. Now, you might become a lot more eccentric this year. You might want to be just getting out of your comfort zone and actually showing the world your unique talent. Maybe your way to think and approach life will be significantly changing. Maybe your appearance will be changing dramatically. So you can become a lot more quirky. Maybe your style is to wear, just comfortable clothing, which is actually a little bit fashionable. Well, with Uranus, expect that you're gonna be matching the colors in a very unique way. So it's definitely about unique and ordinary thought patterns. Probably a little bit of not so much hesitation when it comes to making those changes, even though Taurus, it's a fixed sign, so it tends to hesitate, because the most important part for a Taurus rising is the safety and security, kind of like having a safety blanket on us. But Uranus wants you to actually throw away that safety blanket. So it might be possible that you actually change and then you become a risk taker in your personal matters, or just the way you do things. You might feel very electrified and inspired to change your own world. And of course, trying to do that for the better. Now with Uranus, sometimes it is for the better and sometimes it is for the worse. But it really tells you that there is no winning without taking any type of risk. Now, Uranus is like the flashlight, and always Jessie J comes to my mind when I speak about Uranus, because she has got this song, Flashlight. Uranus can bring all these type of flashes of insights. What type of road I want to be on, what is my goal in this life. and so forth. But it could also indicate that you're going to have this very strong thirst and hunger for freedom, and you want to be just expressing the way things are without kind of any sugar coating. Now, of course, from a negative perspective, Uranus here can become very rebellious, kind of like going on a strike or running a riot. You might want to be leaving things behind. You don't want to be isolated anymore, or you kind of feel stranded in your personal relationship or at work. Typically, this is the bigger area of life. So it's all about wanting not to be restrained anymore, wanting to express yourself the way it is. Of course, as I mentioned, your appearance can be a little bit bizarre. Because Uranus kind of wants always to stand out of the crowd. I want to be spotted. I want to be appreciated, actually. And I'm going to grab any type of tools possible to make that happen. Now, our decision making can be a little bit impulsive if Uranus is hitting our rising sign. So just be careful with that. But I don't think it's a huge issue because Taurus people are, you know, quite earthy. They do look at their safety blankets. So, you know, but it can be going to the extremes sometimes. You can become restless to achieve something, and sometimes those rash decisions can lead to chaos, and that's what Uranus is all about. But I think on a very positive note, it's all about an awakening for you. Probably you want just more excitement in your life. Probably you want kind of like a reversal in your life in a sense of career or relationship as well. I want to be out there, and I am going to be somehow creating something new for me. So if you are feeling a little bit bored in 2021, expect that 2022 is going to be a year when you're going to have plenty of excitement. Kind of like be prepared for this excitement, even though we can't really get ready with Uranus around the rising sign, because, you know, I might be telling you that you're gonna get married, but actually you might get married to two guys, if that's possible, right? So something with the unexpected is there, but it tells you to get out of your comfort zone and take some type of risks, and then it should not be hurting you, basically. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, really, because Uranus takes 84 years to move around the sun. So meaning that if you have got Uranus around your rising sign now, probably it's never going to be happening again in your life. Of course, it's going to be in touch with your rising sign by squares and oppositions, but not conjunctions. Conjunctions can feel like fated events. Okay, so that's kind of exciting period for you. Now, also, this is especially important for those who were born between I would say 1st of May till about 7th of May. Those also will feel it very strongly because Uranus will be actually conjuncting your sun. And if you have got Taurus rising sign and also the sun is conjuncting your transiting Uranus, then it's definitely a double whammy for you. Now, Uranus conjuncting the rising sign is, Uranus conjuncting your sun is all about, yes, unexpected change in our career, unexpected change in the way how we express ourselves. We can become a lot more rebellion. We can have this urge to break free from chains and actually take a turn in our routines, or just what was normal so far, actually that's just going to be in the past. It's also very possible that we're gonna turn a little bit depressed during around this period of time, because you might not have clue what I want to be doing. So it needs a little bit of a self-awareness first, or a psychic perception before all these type of changes are going to happen. The key word here is to be flexible, to be open-minded, and to somehow making sure that you kind of cut those cords and then no one is restricting in your environment. And then this Uranus-Sun conjunction should be quite okay. Now, the year will be starting for you with Venus retrograde in the 9th house. So Venus always wants to get comfortable with things. So Venus is the planet of money. It rules a relationship department, and it talks about our likings and dislikes. So now it will be actually going retrograde on the 19th of December, entering the sign already on the 5th of November, and then will remain there till the end of January, beginning of February. So this might be about thinking to relocate. Now that with the Uranus is actually very possible around your rising sign, especially if your rising sign is somewhere between 10 to 12 degrees, then the relocation will be a significant topic for you. It's actually all about thinking about long distance travels or wanting to have experiences abroad. It might be that, I don't know, I want to be walking in the jungle and I want to be, I don't know, swimming with dolphins and all those type of things. You might be actually having a relationship, a long distance relationship, and that's the reason why you are considering to relocate. In that case, I always say that at least wait till the retrograde period is over, because it's something which later on we can actually regret. But you might just feel very attracted to foreign men and women, or just foreign culture overall, or foreign fashion, or foreign food, foreign art, and all those type of things. It's very much about looking at your perspective on life, because the 9th house has got this spiritual color to it. So I usually call the 9th house is the house of kinesiology. So that's something to do with our opinions, or that's something to do with kind of like stored memories, which sometimes haunting us or helping us. And that's what kinesiology is all about, rewriting some of the subconscious stored information, which actually holding you back in certain ways. But it might be about, you know what, I want to be studying something, and that's going to be the new you. And it doesn't really matter how old you are. You can be 20, you can be 50. You might find some type of pleasure in teachings and studying, something to do with connecting with higher knowledge. You might be inspired about, I don't know, seeing on telly that a 70-year-old woman went back to university, and that inspires you to study something also. So that's very possible. It's also possible that somehow you become a teacher or a mentor to someone else. Now, whether it's going to be in a school settings, or it's just going to be someone being under your wings, or you're going to be actually sharing your opinions and views on certain things, that's completely up to you. But there is definitely a new adventure with that Venus being in the 9th house for 4 months. Now, sometimes we can actually rely on our charm and luck way too much. 9th house is actually one of those lucky houses, because that's the natural home of Jupiter. So, and a retrograde period can tell you to reassess your luck, to reassess your opinion, to reassess your way of thinking over certain things. Actually, this could bring you kind of a love affair with a foreigner. Is it going to last long? You know, it depends. But the risk with a retrograde planet is that by the time the retrograde finishes, they leave. However, if it is something like, you know, it's been planned for a while to meet that guy or girl, then do not hesitate, because it's been planned. So the retrograde can also show kind of like a culmination of a situation as well. But Venus in the 9th house can become slightly superficial in intimate relationships. So we do need to be careful about that. And the excitement part of Venus moving out of the 8th house, because it was a little bit, you know, it transformed a lot. It had to gain more positivity. It was kind of like isolated. Now this Venus is ready to travel far away and kind of like experiencing freedom. And this experience is mental, physical, and spiritual as well at the same time. So I feel like this Venus retrograde is actually positive. Now, Venus retrograde happens on 26 degree of Capricorn. So if you have got your rising sign, I would say between 23 to 26 degree, then you will feel this Venus retrograde the most. Yeah, but the biggest change of the year is the nodes, the nodal shift. And the North Node will be in your 1st house. Especially what I'm describing for you is true for those who have got their rising sign between 10 to 29 degree, because the last 10 degree the North Node will visit is going to be just next year, the first 6 months of the year. Of course, North Node and South Node are all about having a balance. So if you have got the North Node in the 1st house, then the South Node will be in your 7th house. Now, North Node in the 1st house is very much about gaining confidence. It's like growing tomatoes. So how are you going to be growing confidence? It's about unleashing your true potentials. So somehow a little bit of a self-discovery. Sometimes we might become a little bit more selfish and self-focused when the nodes are in the 1st house, but this is about personal development. So it's about figuring out what my mission is. You might start questioning plenty of things actually in your life, and one of them can be your personal relationship. Like, I want to grow and my partner doesn't want to grow, or I have grown way too much and then my partner only little. So I kind of don't feel like we are on the same page anymore. Of course, this node will be conjuncting Uranus and Urania in July 2022. And that's going to be happening on 18 degrees. So especially those who have got their rising sign between 15 to 18 degrees, they might want to be breaking away from their relationship, or they want to get into relationship, and it can be happening very suddenly as well. You might be exposing yourself in one way, or you might be just showing new qualities and abilities. And actually your partner might think that you have changed significantly. It's definitely about self-development. So with that Venus retrograde in your 9th, I kind of urge you to study something. And it could be anything really. If it's spiritual, be it. But, you know, it's kind of like you must be grabbing your fate, because it might indicate that you can't really rely on anyone anymore. It is time to advertise yourself. It is time to get out there and find a partner if you are single. And maybe it's by signing up for a website, Uranus, right? It's about protecting yourself from any type of destructive influences. It's about not depending on the environment anymore. It's about feeling yourself, like feeling more like yourself. It's about achieving very important goals. So if you have been experiencing some health issues or mental issues as well, then actually this could be a good period of time when kind of like the body starts recovering. But I think with Uranus and North Node conjunction, there is also this like sign that you should listen to your inner voice as well, or you should be connecting to friends, Uranus, or you should be connecting to the divine to kind of download further information about where you need to go. Now, from a negative point of view, yes, there is this, as I said, this selfishness, and that could lead to some type of separation with people, ending some type of karmic relationships. And it's not necessarily just about, you know, romantic relationship, any type of relationship, especially with the Uranus, it can show actually a fallout with a friend of yours. Watch out for your reputation, because it's easily can be destroyed. So you might kind of meet or find these secret enemies or enemies overall, not necessarily such secret enemies actually, because the 7th house is our open enemies, okay? If you don't go in the right direction, then actually it kind of, you might feel that the that life is making you to go back and revisit certain things. And of course, it can lead to kind of like delays in your life, and then you feel that life has stopped. However, Uranus really wants you to get you ahead, and we become restless about going somewhere. So if you experience delays, kind of take it as a sign that it might not be your road, or there must be some tweaks made there. It could actually bring in, unfortunately, very negatively speaking, it could bring life-threatening situations as well, okay? Very unlikely, though, unless, oh, I don't even want to mention that either, because, you know, at the end of the day, this is a very sensitive topic. But especially if you have got your rising sign on 26 or 27 degree, then this year, just be careful about, you know, like someone wants to break in, or intruders, or even accidents as well. Just be very careful about that. Well, and another reason why the nodal shifts are important for us this year is because the ruler of South Node will be retrograde and will be spending 6 months in the sign of Gemini. Mars will be retrograde in your 2nd house. Now, 2nd house is all about financials. Now, on one hand, it definitely will tell you to relook at your financial situation, the ways you earn money. It wants you to organize your finances, but also it kind of wants you to make some type of new investments as well. Maybe you have been thinking about investments for a while. Maybe this Mars retrograde will be actually the period when you should reconsider your chances. Mars is all about acting only on your values. And it might just somehow affecting your career again, because it's going to be trining your, it's going to be trining some of your midheaven, for instance, but it might be just you feel very driven to make more money, to kind of make some type of business transactions. This could be a period of time when you actually want to sell something. The security actually becomes a lot more important for you, or you give more attention to your safety net. That's also very possible. But at the same time, remember that Mars rules your 12th house also. So this could bring in things like, do I need to spend money on certain things, or do I not need to spend money? Because 12th house is the bigger expenditures. So it's not necessarily the bills we pay. It's like, do I need that new fancy sofa? And all those type of things. Mars is the planet of initiation. And in the sign of Gemini, it is all about coming up with new ways and ideas to make more money. You might want to become a leader in financial area. But also this house so much to do with sensuality. So sensuality can become actually a lot more important for you as well, while Mars is going through your second house. Mars also rules your seventh house, which is the house of relationship. So this could actually talk about the balance between my money and my partner money as well. Now, Mars is in the 8th house from the 7th. So somehow my money and the shared resources pop up here with this topic. So it might be affecting your partner and your loved one a lot more. But again, Mars wants you to gain more self-worth. So again, that confidence level, what we spoke about with the node in the first house, is very much there. The negative ones of Mars is overspending, or we make these rash investments and then we regret them later on. So especially from October 30th till the beginning of January 2023, just really reconsider what you want to be investing into, right? It's about looking at the bottom profit as well, especially if you're a company owner. Then it talks about your SOI and NOI and all those type of things. So just be mindful about that. You can be very concerned with money and security as well. A little bit worried or being depressed that I'm not making as much money as I want to. And of course, for a Taurus rising sign, money is always going to be very important. So we can become a little bit fixated around our possessions. We might want to be selling, buying things, but actually the retrograde tells you to put a brake on it a little bit. Don't be as fast. It could unfortunately indicate self-worth being destroyed as well by your partner. Unfortunately, it could also indicate that some secrets will be revealed to you of your partner. That's also actually very possible with this Mars retrograde. Another huge change which you should be actually expecting is from Jupiter. Now, Jupiter will be actually covering 2 houses for you this year. It will be till May in your 11th house, which is again very much of a financial house. So the financial houses are the 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th. These are the fixed houses or succeeding houses, and those are somehow connected to the safety net. Typically, 11th house is the money we make from business and the salary, or any type of money which comes from the government, so something to do with the benefits. So actually, Jupiter can highlight all those type of things for you. Is it because they're going to stop your benefits and then you are pissed off about it? And Mars actually in the 2nd house will be fighting for that, right? Or it might be Jupiter actually in a positive way. It can get you to meet very friendly people, kind of like benefactors in your life. It could be about joining some groups and associations who might be expanding your horizon a little bit. It could actually talk about large gains. So the investment for you this year somehow looks more or less very beneficial. Remember that Jupiter rules your 11th and 8th house. So all your money houses are actually very active for you. So this Jupiter, especially the first 6 months of the year, could talk about large gains. But then once it goes into the 12th house, just watch out what you spend, because Jupiter will be in the 12th, Mars will be in your 2nd house. So the money spending can be very heightened for you. It might be about some type of contractual agreements with others, which promising for a big amount of money for you, but then it might slow down and then the real money is just going to be coming in 2023. So do not spend your money in advance. You might become a little bit charitable. That's also very possible. Both Jupiter in the 11th or the 12th house possible. 11th is more about 12th house is more about non-profit charities, and the 11th house is more about profit-oriented charities as well. But it's all about big ideas around your future. It's all about goals, group goals. Maybe you're going to be partnering up with some of your friends, and then we want to be pulling up a business. Networking will be very important for you this year. This could actually indicate things like that you can take on way too many projects and then you become scattered about it, which typically is not true for Taurus, but with Uranian influence, Jupiter influence, and so forth. Unfortunately, that could be a possible. And maybe 3 projects is already too much for you. So it tells you to look at your own strength. A little bit of a Whitney Houston, right? I didn't know my own strength. And Taurus has got plenty of strength, but they do need to learn to focus a little bit. We can become a little bit detached in our personal relationships. So again, a new friend is coming in, or an old friend is actually leaving our life. That's also very possible. Another negative thing which I would say about Jupiter in the 11th is that we can be dreaming, but where is the action? So make sure there is action, because this time around Jupiter will be actually sextiling your rising sign. So that could bring you popularity, especially I would say popularity from 2023 onwards. Sometimes February, March, once Mars is in your 3rd house, Jupiter will be still, well, Jupiter is going to be already in the 12th house, but initially it's going to be sextiling your rising sign. So we can become popular. We can attract a lot more people into your life. So socializing, networking is a very important thing for you. Now, Jupiter in your 12th house, which is going to be happening 2022 May onwards, still about October, it asks you to go a little bit inwards. It asks you to become aware of your higher values. And that's definitely the case with that Mars retro in your 2nd house. So those are your personal values. 12th house is the spiritual values. So that's very possible. Somehow it might become a concern, your spiritual existence become a concern for you, which is typically not true for Taurus. It's more about tangible stuff. But with the Uranus, Urania, North Node conjunction in July, actually it's very possible that, you know what, I'm interested in spirituality a lot more. Right? So it can bring in things like, I'm going to be meditating, I am going to be turning inward and then look into the mirror a little bit and then seeing what ways I can prepare for a huge change. Another huge change is going to be once Jupiter goes into your 1st house, but that's going to be in 2023, more likely 2024. Okay? Yeah, so I think you've got a very exciting period of time ahead of you. Now, another positive things which I see for you, and that's Pluto, which is going to be trining your ascendant, especially if if your rising sign is between 25 to 28 degree. So it's about becoming mesmerizing. It's about becoming magnetic. So you can really attract those benefactors in your life. You can become captivating. You can actually reach people you've never kind of dreamed of being able to reach. People will be drawn to you. So meaning that if you are single, you might see that guys and boys are running around you like there is no tomorrow. And then I'm going to have to choose between them two. So it's like becoming fascinating, somehow becoming hypnotizing as well overall. But it could also talk about feeling empowered or having some type of gaining some access to mysterious places, or just discovering something about you, or discovering something about your look. You know, for instance, let's say let's say I'm chubby, and then I believe that, you know, my legs are nice. And then all of a sudden I'm going to be noticing that people are actually noticing how nice my legs are. So that somehow becomes my best attribute. So these little discoveries, but that could really actually push your self-confidence. With a Pluto trine, the ascendant, you can become so charming, and you can also able to persuade others. So it's kind of like the power of your presence. So it can be just the fact that you're going to be transforming your body. Now, Mars retrograde in your second, Pluto trining your rising sign, can actually talk about a complete transformation in the ways you eat or you treat your physical body. But Pluto at the same time tells you that you're going to have to come out of the shadow. So it's about, because it happens in your ninth house, I'm going to have to show myself, right? Pluto in the ninth typically talks about things like marketing and advertisement very strongly. So the only way I'm going to get noticed if I'm going to be putting myself out there, and I'm going to be kind of because, you know, Pluto likes walking unnoticed, kind of like in the underworld. So it has got that ability to kind of wanting to hide. I don't think it's going to work with Uranus North Node, Urania around your rising sign, Pluto trining, Jupiter being in your 11th house. So this could really talk about being noticed for something in the public. It's about empowering and being empowered by others or by something. And I also love that Neptune will be actually sextiling your rising sign, especially if your rising sign or your sun sign is between 20 to 25 degrees. Somewhere in the middle, 22, 23, will be feeling it the most. And it could be being inspired, or it could talk about just wanting to achieve your dreams. It could actually show some type of psychic receptiveness with others, especially in a community. So it's like being a leader of a community, which you can actually build this year. But definitely there is this spiritual alignment involved here. It's about showing compassion to others. Now, Neptune is somehow the corula of your 11th house. So that's something to do with your ability to reach the dreams. It's just ordering it from the universe. And remember, there is going to be a Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, which is going to be happening around 25 degrees. So again, those who have got their rising sign between 23 to 28 degrees, Neptune, Jupiter will be sextiling you. Pluto will be trining you. Those can really achieve something. But do not be deceived by others or by yourself. And maybe watch out for your addictions to success also. So, guys, this is your yearly forecast for 2022, and I wish you all the best. And make sure you subscribe, like, and check out my website as well if you would like to have a personal reading. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.